Nichols. But they won't hear us because they've got headphones on.
This is a spy thriller. This is a Nissan salesman ad.
The secret's out. Hurry into.
Following is a conversation with Charles Isbell and Michael Littman. Charles is the Dean of the College of Computing at Georgia Tech, and Michael is a computer science professor at Brown University. I've spoken with each of them individually on this podcast, and since they are good friends in real life, we all thought it would be fun to have a conversation together. Quick mention of each sponsor, followed by some thoughts related to the episode. Thank you to Athletic Group.
This isn't a spy thriller.
Following is a conversation with Charles Isbell and Michael Littman. Charles is the Dean of the College of Computing at Georgia Tech, and Michael is a computer science professor at Brown University. I've spoken with each of them individually on this podcast, and since they are good friends in real life, we all thought it would be fun to have a conversation together. Mention of each sponsor, followed by some thoughts related to the episode. Thank you to Athletic Greens, the all-in-one drink that I start every day with to cover all my nutritional bases. 8 Sleep, a mattress that cools itself and gives me yet another reason to enjoy sleep. Masterclass, online courses from some of the most amazing humans in history, and Cash App, the app I use to send money to friends. Put these sponsors in the description to get a discount and to support this podcast. As a side note, let me say that having 2 guests on the podcast is an experiment that I've been meaning to do for a while. In particular, because down the road, I would like to occasionally be a kind of moderator for debates between people that may disagree in some interesting ways. If you have suggestions for who you would like to see debate on this podcast, let me know. As with all experiments of this kind, it is a learning process. Both the video and the audio might need improvement. I realized I think I should probably do 3 or more cameras next time as opposed to just 2. And also try different ways to mount the microphone for the third person. Also, after recording this intro, I'm going to have to go figure out the thumbnail for the video version of the podcast, since I usually put the guest's head on the thumbnail, and now there's 2 heads and 2 names to try to fit into the thumbnail. It's a kind of bin packing problem, which in theoretical computer science happens to be an NP hard problem. Whatever I come up with, if you your ideas on a thumbnail, let me know as well. In general, I always welcome ideas how this thing can be improved. If you enjoy it, subscribe on YouTube, review it with 5 stars on Apple Podcast, follow on Spotify, support on Patreon, or connect with me on Twitter at Lex Friedman. And now, here's my conversation with Charles Isbell and Michael Littman. You'll probably disagree about this question, but what is your biggest, would you say, disagreement about either something profound and very important or something completely not important at all?
I don't think we have any disagreements at all.
I'm not sure that's true.
We walked into that one, didn't we?
Yeah,
So one thing that you sometimes mention is that, and we did this one on air too, as it were, whether or not machine learning is computational statistics.
It's not.
But it is.
Well, it's not. And in particular, and more importantly, it is not just computational statistics.
So what's missing in the picture?
All the rest of it.
What's missing? That which is missing. Oh, yes. Well, you can't be wrong now.
Well, it's not just the statistics. He doesn't even believe this. We've had this conversation before. If it were just the statistics, then we would be happy with where we are. But it's not just the statistics.
That's why it's computational statistics.
Or if it were just the computation.
I agree that machine learning is not just statistics.
It is not just the statistics.
We can agree on that.
Nor is it just computational statistics.
It's computational statistics.
It is computational.
What is the computational and computational statistics? Does this take us into the realm of computing?
It does, but I think perhaps the way I can get him to admit that he's wrong, is that it's about rules.
It's about rules.
It's about symbols. It's about all these other things.
But statistics is not about rules? I'm going to say statistics is about rules.
But it's not just the statistics, right? It's not just a random variable that you choose and you have a probability.
I think you have a narrow view of statistics.
Okay, well then, what would be the broad view of statistics that would still allow these statistics and not say history that would make computational statistics okay?
Well, okay, so I had my first sort of research mentor, a guy named Tom Landauer, taught me to do some statistics, right?
Sure.
And I was annoyed all the time because the statistics would say that what I was doing was not statistically significant.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, but, and basically what he said to me is, statistics is how you're going to keep from lying to yourself, which I thought was really deep.
It is a way to keep yourself honest in a particular way. I agree with that.
Yeah, and so you're trying to find rules. I'm just going to bring back to rules.
Wait. Could you possibly try to define rules?
Even regular statisticians, non-computational statisticians, do spend some of their time evaluating rules, right? Applying statistics, trying to understand, does this rule capture this? Does this not capture that?
You mean like hypothesis testing kind of thing? Or like confidence intervals, like
more like hypothesis. Like I feel like the word statistic literally means like a summary, like a number that summarizes other numbers.
Right.
But I think the field of statistics actually applies that idea to things like rules, to understand whether or not a rule is valid.
So software engineering statistics?
No.
Programming language statistics?
No.
Because I think it's useful to think about a lot of what AI and machine learning is, or certainly should be, as software engineering, as programming languages. Just if to put it in language that you might understand, the hyperparameters beyond the problem itself.
The hyperparameters is too many syllables for me to understand.
The hyperparameters
That's better.
that goes around it, right? It's the decisions you choose to make. It's the metrics you choose to use. It's the loss function.
So you want to say the practice of machine learning is different than the practice of statistics. Like the things you have to worry about and how you worry about them are different, therefore they're different.
Right. At a very little. I mean, at the very least, it's that much is true. It doesn't mean that statistics, computational or otherwise, aren't important. I think they are. I mean, I do a lot of that, for example. But I think it goes beyond that. I think that we could think about game theory in terms of statistics, but I don't think it's very as useful to do. I mean, the way I would think about it, or a way I would think about it, is this way. Chemistry is just physics. But I don't think it's as useful to think about chemistry as being just physics. It's useful to think about it as chemistry. The level of abstraction really matters here.
So I think it is, there are contexts in which it is useful.
Yes.
That way, right?
No,
and so
that
finding that connection is actually helpful. And I think that's when I emphasize the computational statistics thing. I think I want to befriend statistics and not absorb them.
I got a meeting coming up in a few minutes, and I think I just sold a print. Pretty sure I just sold a print. If I get a Cash App alert, I will know that I sold a print, and I'll ship that out tomorrow. Always let them make them little quick dollars real quick, yo. Them prints be coming in handy. Look, goddamn $40, $80 here. That's just what I needed to get me some more, you know? Damn. Shit. That's nasty. I'm gonna have to clean that shit soon. Alright, now maybe all my Jones are downstairs though. Fuck. I don't have time to run downstairs either. Ouch, it's hot. It might not be that dirty. I'll let it slide a little bit longer. All right, my meeting is starting now. I have a board meeting tonight. I love this Zoom shit, man. You can be high at the board meeting. You know what I'm saying? I may look high, but how can you really tell? Y'all can't smell me. Y'all don't know what I'm doing in my house. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Oh, shit. That one hit me hard. Fuck. I think I need an adult beverage after that. Y'all like adult beverages? They're delicious. All right. Have my adult beverage. About to get into this meeting. This meeting of the minds. Some of the greatest minds you can find. Because my mind is so divine. I have no audio for some reason. Oh my God.
I'm not gonna answer people. So that's just where I'm at. As per request of my therapist, she's like, "Girl, you need to take a little. You need to take." And I'm gonna do the Alzheimer's thing on the 31st. I'll do that because I'm the health person. I'll not a problem. Cool. I can do that. Great. You can't hear. Travis can't hear. Can you hear now?
I'm good now. For some reason, my Bluetooth downstairs was connected, and the speaker.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I'm good now. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I'm pretty sure everyone can join. I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't keeping up with a lot. There was a lot happening this past week, so yeah. But I sent you guys some things. The documents that the attorney wanted us to sign for the property. That's just saying that everybody on the board is agrees that this donation is happening. And I forget the other thing, but something else very similar to that you signed. I just gave you guys the copy of the signed documents, so you have them. But I'm compiling them on the side, and our attorney has those too. But just so you have the documents you signed, I feel like that's appropriate. Hang on, let me bring up my little notes. Oh, here you go. Okay, so like I said, I'm not really gonna wait for everybody because I want to keep our meeting within an hour, and I'll just catch up with people this week. I don't mind doing like board business, but I do want to get started. So first off, just a recap on Black History Month. I think we did a fantastic job with the limitations that we had. Vicky, you killed it. Travis, you killed it. Danya killed it with the mental health matters. Like everybody did a great job, and I really appreciate it because I was very stressed out, and I was also very upset because it couldn't be the Black History Month I necessarily wanted, but it was the Black History Month that I'm proud of. So thank you guys. And if I projected any anger onto you all, I also apologize. We had a big shift in the board too, like with Alex not wanting to be on the board anymore, which was like a blow to my system because we're also friends, and I just want to make sure our friendship is still in alignment. So yeah, that happened. But like I said, overall, I think it was a really great month, and I think that you all did amazing. I also am considering bringing on Heather Rhodes onto the board. She's awesome. She also spoke at the Black History Month flag raising. But she's doing a lot of great things in the community. She was like, "Hey, like, is there anything happening with Black Scranton? Like, are you still looking for board members?" I said yes. I wanted her on the board, and I brought you on, Vicky. And I think she would be a great replacement for Alex. And she has a lot of great ideas that I think would be an asset to Black Scranton. So, with that being said, can you send the link to Danya? She's texting. Oh, let me send it to her. Okay, I don't have my messages around me either, so I was not. Yeah, let me send her this link. She says she's at work. Oh, okay. Then no, she says she's at work, but she doesn't have the link. She wants to get it. Oh, okay. Let me send that to her then. I told her just sending it to her now. Yeah. I'm gonna just send it to her on Facebook because that's easier for my computer. But okay. I'm gonna put it.
She said thanks.
Here goes. Yeah, here's her message. And great. All right, so I sent that to her. So she'll probably be jumping on any second. So, but yeah, so Black History Month I thought went really well. We did a lot of things. I didn't finish counting everything up, but last minute I was talking with Vicky about this too. Like last minute I thought, you know what? It might be worthwhile to count the virtual attendees for all these events. So I started taking notes I had noted in all of my notes like the attendees for each event, but I started, hey, thanks for jumping in. If anything, we can connect later if you have to hop off. No big deal, okay? So I'm just talking about Black History Month. We all did a great job. Also, you killed the meditations. You're amazing. Also, all of the Black business videos you're doing. I was thinking we can add them to our business directory website too, so we can like chat more on that on the side. But yes, thank you so much. You made Black History Month so great this month, and so I'm thankful for that. So amazing. I was telling everyone to, like in the emails, if you're having trouble, I'll resend it. It's just like a small folder. So the documents that I asked you guys to sign, I gave you the signed copies back just so you can have them. So that's in there, and this little like really rough meeting minutes page, I sent that to you guys as well. So I also want to keep this meeting within the hour because obviously you're working. I am going to be starting a little mental health detox starting Monday. I'll still be available to the board, you all, but if it's not about the building and the donation or anything with our website or the events that Vicky has sent for us for March, then I'm probably not going to be able to get to it. So, but I'll be open to converse and get everything done with you all. So that's that. So right now with the building for the cultural center update, we are closing on the property March 30th. So if everything goes according to plan by March 30th, March 31st, we should have the keys and we can be in there. So that's super exciting.
Congratulations to you for doing that.
I mean, all of us, because each of you had a part. Each of you, like, are bringing this. I wouldn't have been able to get this donation without each of you. Like, even if you think your signature is minimal, that's really a lot. So it's going to, like, really mean so much for everybody. And yeah, so that's super exciting. So I was hoping that this month is weird. So I'll get back to you on when we can do it. It could just, because, like, this last month, sorry. Anyway, so this last Sunday in March is Easter, so like that is not, well, it's Palm Sunday and all that stuff. So like holidays for next month. So if we don't have a meeting in March, what about like, what's the next time? Well, no, I'll get back to you on the March meeting. It could just be a week sooner than a week later, just because it'll be like Easter, Palm Sunday. Although it's a pandemic, I don't know what you all have going on, but we can work around that. So be back.
To be respectful.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, what's that Sunday?
Saturday is not a big holiday. You know, Sunday is the big thing for Christians. It's the Palm Sunday and then the Easter Sunday. Holy Saturday is not. So maybe we can move it a different day.
So would we be open to doing it like March 21st, Sunday, March 21st?
Sure.
That way it's out of the way of the other.
Actually, I'm working on that day until 6 o'clock.
Okay, well, we can still brainstorm about a date later. But just as a horizon, like, it's going to be a holiday weekend.
No, I think you all should still meet. Just because I'm not going to be there, if I have a report, I can send it. I think it's important to be consistent, right?
I agree.
And so doing it on March 21st, even though I'm going to be at work, I think.
And then I can just fill you in on what happens afterwards.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, that can work. So I'm putting this in my calendar now, and I'll send out a calendar invite tomorrow because that's on my personal task list to start using calendar invites appropriately. So part of my goals. So great. We have our next board meeting put together for see it in your emails later, let me know. But at the end of the month, what day was this now? The 26th, I think it was. I did a little presentation at the University of Scranton for the BSU. They asked me to come do a presentation to help support them and like start getting some initiatives rolling and stuff. So I was there, cool, and Travis probably knows this, but last year, like probably in July, I came across this research that the University of Scranton used to do like these slave auctions and like these fake slave auction fundraisers where they would like auction off faculty and administrators to be like slaves for a week and like, don't hurt people or do anything sexual, and sometimes there was blackface involved. Like they were intense. So I figured, if the BSU is trying to prove that it's important that they are on campus because there's still anti-blackness on this campus that hasn't been resolved, maybe I should share this research with them during this presentation and tell them, hey, like we can't talk about progress until we fix what is still damaging the community. So I did that. Everybody their jaw was on the floor because no one expected it. The administrators, people who had me there, everybody, whatever. So I did it. I was like a little nervous. I talked to my therapist right before I said, should I do this? Because she's a university alum too. She was like, do it, sis.
Absolutely.
All right. So I did it. And the next, what was it? The last Friday, the provost of the university sent out this email that says, hey, there was a presentation on campus that talked about the slave auctions. We apologize for any hurt. We are working on that. All of the research is not being deleted from the website because I said it. I said, I noticed some of it's disappearing, so let's not do that. They said the archives are available for you to look at. If you have any questions, here's the faculty to talk to. Thank you, Black Scranton, for bringing this to our attention. So I'm like, that's how you work with institutions properly. So
make sure you save that email to archive it, the apology.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yes.
You also have to tell that story.
Oh,
we want
shit.
apology,
Word.
reparations.
Word.
What else are they doing? Yes, yes.
Right. So I was like pretty proud. I said, okay. And then I emailed the provost back and I said, I appreciate this email that went out to the campus community. I saw it because I wanted to know, like, it was brought to my attention immediately.
Absolutely.
But, I appreciate this. This is just one step on the path to progress. That's what I said. And it was like, okay, we
create that email too.
More. Yeah. So that was really cool. And it makes me feel like Black Scranton is really being taken seriously out here, and the work that we're doing and the demands that we have for the community are actually being heard. So as a recap of Black History Month, I think that was something to prove that this year again, we are pushing the needle a little bit further. So great. So that is everything that happened in February that I want to talk about. So there's no new Black Scranton documents for the center yet. So with this donation, every day is something new. So I really don't know. So if there's any paperwork that comes out this week that needs another board signature for, I'll let you guys know. But right now, all the paperwork that came to me, you guys all saw it. So I'll keep you posted because we're having an inspection happening next week. No, the week after. I have to get all that together, so I will have that compiled and information and stuff for the next meeting on what happens and tell you guys as it unfolds. But it's a learning process because I don't really know about all this stuff. So I've just been having a lot of meetings about what we should know, what nonprofits, what kind of insurance, all that stuff I'm learning about. So when that comes about, I'll explain how that goes. But so far, we're pretty much on track for the close. So that's good news.
Wonderful. And it's going to be very important, Glennon, that you inform us all of this information so that institutional knowledge, we know it as well.
Yes.
So I appreciate you indicating that once you get it all together, you're going to make sure that you inform us. Mm-hmm. You can't have all this on your shoulders alone. We all have this weight, and we need to understand what goes into all of this. That's wonderful.
So that's a great point, Vicki. So the next thing I wanted to ask you guys is, I'm thinking about making like a password page on the Black Scranton Project website for board members where I can leave some of these things, or where we can ask questions, or where we can like check things off. Only because I'm trying to figure out ways to, again, share information more efficiently and not just like dump things in this meeting. So also, if you have any ideas, please share. But I'm thinking about maybe having a password protected page on the website. So even if we're testing website links, like, I don't know, I'm trying to have things that are ready to you can check in when you want and see what's happening, you know, not being like, oh, like I have to call Glennon to see what I missed in the meetings, but rather you can just type in a password on the website and see what has happened, you know?
And that wouldn't cover it in the Google Drive. That would not serve the purpose of being able to sign in there and see minute meeting,
Yeah.
minute this.
That's
I saw somebody
that's smarter. That's definitely smarter. And I'm just gonna have to learn how to use it better. But that
you can put you can dump a lot of that in Google Drive, the folder, or you can do a Dropbox. You can do a number of other things. It doesn't have to be connected to the website.
Gotcha. So yeah, we'll just stick with the Google Drive and learning how to like use the Google Suite better so it shares with amongst all of us, you know? So yeah, okay, Google Suite. Alright. Hey Bettina.
Hey.
So we just kind of talked about the past month. So shout out, we had a very successful Black History Month, I think. We did a lot of cool things, got a lot of cool feedback. We even got some movement from the University of Scranton. I forwarded you all an email from the provost because I did a presentation about the slave auction fundraisers they used to have at the U and how, like, if we want to talk about anti-Blackness and being better, then you have to address the slave auctions and all of this other shit before we get to progress. And virtually they did that. And they sent out an email being like, hey, happy Black History Month. We're sorry for our past. We're working on it. What you saw in this presentation is available at our digital archive here. And let's see. So that was pretty cool. We have a tentative meeting for next month for March 21st. It's Sunday, so it'd be the same time. So if that works for you or doesn't, let me know.
Yeah, works for me.
Okay.
And I also, when you're ready, I can share the events for the Women's History Month.
Yeah, I got your flyer with all of them. So for every one that's on there, in collab with Black Scranton, or some of them on there are. But I noticed the ones that said like women's history, women's health matters. I meant.
Can you give me the opportunity to share my screen and I'll show
you? So you can actually share your screen now since we are pretty much talking about Women's History Month in March.
It says that you have to enable that. So if you can enable it.
Right. I'm not sure how I would.
Go to you see where it says share screen? It's an arrow.
Oh, yeah.
Arrow and put multiple.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
All right, thank you. So this is the flyer for Women's History Month, and we're in partnership with Black Scranton Project. So all the events, now there are 3 that are specific for Black Scranton Project on here, and they're going to happen in the evening time because if we're trying to reach the community, most of the community is able to do stuff in the evening, and so that's why that is. So on Tuesday, we're going to have the opening ceremony with Morgan Williams Bryan and Dr. Calendar. Dr. Calendar is going to talk about the health disparities in Black women. So she's going to set the stage for everything. And then each time we have an event, it's going to break it down to focus on one area. And Morgan is going to do a poem. She's my sorority sister, and she is phenomenal. So she's going to do a poem. You're going to start seeing a theme.
Okay.
My sorority sisters.
I'm here for it, you know. A lot of people don't know about the Divine Nine out here, so.
Yeah. And then we have Dr. Norwood. She's in Michigan. She's going to talk about convention for the women who does it all. So knowing that Black women, we do a lot. So she's going to talk about that. Then we have another one of my sorority sister, Kawanza Humphrey. She's the senior vice president at Key Bank, and she's going to talk about finance and managing money so that you can be stress-free. Because not knowing how to manage money, not knowing what to do with your money, it causes a lot of stress. And so it impacts your health. Then we have my sorority sister, Annie. Deaver, she's an executive director at elderly health care system. So she's going to talk about elderly because a lot of people are taking care of parents and their children. And so how to manage that and also how to navigate the system. So she's going to talk about that. Then we have my very good friend and mentee, Sharon Lawrence. She's a licensed social worker. She's going to talk about mental health is physical health. So she was one of my students in Fredonia when I worked there. Then we have Angelina Spicer. She's a comedian, producer, and accidental activist. And she does a lot of work about postpartum depression and talking about, what's the return policy, meaning take this child back. Too stressful for me. So she's a comedian, so she's going to do comedic relief, comic relief. So, and then we have my mentee, Dr. Anika Simone Johnson. She works at the University of Rochester, New York. She's going to talk about beauty from the inside out. She has a column that she does, and she also owns All Things Dr. J Beauty. So she does a lot with makeup, yoga, meditation. She does a lot of that stuff. Then we have my very good friend, Dr. Apara. She's at Wayne State University School of Medicine, and she's also an internal medicine person. So she's going to talk about advocacy and how to best advocate for your health, like what questions you ask, just to make sure you are being partners. Then we have my sorority sister, Sharon Sanford. She's a breast cancer survivor. And so she's going to talk about that and how she formed her foundation. They caught it in the early stages, so she's going to talk about it. She's going to show pictures and how devastated she was because she didn't really know that that's what's going to happen once she had her surgery. So she's going to really talk about that and give tips and tools. All of them are going to give tips and tools. So that's my sorority sister as well. Then we have Dr. Kiva Rogers. She's going to be talking about putting self-care on your to-do list. She's also my sorority sister, actually my line sister. Annie is actually my line sister, and Morgan are my line sisters. But anyway, and so Dr. Rogers is going to talk about mental health matters and how to put it on your to-do list to make sure you take care of yourself. And then we're going to close it out with my mentee Sharon Jennings and my sorority sister Morgan. She's going to do another poem, Morgan. She's going to close us out with Champions Made and just talk about the power of Black women. And so we're going to close it out. We have a similar series that we're doing for June for men. And so similar, I have men lined up. I'm almost done with that. I'm trying to finish that in March because everything is just happening all crazy. So I'm trying to finish all of that in March. And I have a number of male doctors. I have lawyers. I have a detective as part of the police department to talk about the school to prison pipeline, and then also the police. So I have when we talk about the social determinants of health, I'm looking at all those areas in the social determinants of health and what that consists of. And so we have a few male doctors, Buffalo, Charlotte. I got people from all over. And so we're going to do the same thing in June for men.
Amazing.
And so that's who we are.
I think that's great. So I have I noted the three that are part of the Black Scranton Project ones. So the Thursday, the 11th, March the 9th, Friday the 19th, and then Friday the 26th.
Yeah. And those that happen in the evening, but
in the evening,
everyone is welcome to register and to go to any of them. And then I have these mugs that I have folks making, and they're going to, we're going to raffle them off. And so it was so difficult to pick which design. Oh my goodness, it was so hard. So I picked these designs. Let me show you the designs real quick. It was very difficult. I mean, this guy has so many great designs. But I wanted to keep it focused on women. And we have a lot for the men as well. gave it to me at a discount, which is great. So these are the 6 designs.
Those are nice.
That I picked for the women. And so he's gonna put them on the mugs, and we're gonna give them out.
Those are really nice. I like the busy making my ancestors proud, that one.
I like that one.
So what I'm gonna do is give you all the link, and you can pick out which mug you would like. Because I want to make sure that we get mugs as the board, and I want to make sure that the speakers get mugs.
Okay.
So I'll give you the link to fill out your information and blah 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 once I create it. But those are the 6 designs that we're gonna have.
So okay, these look great. There was I was thinking about something else for March, or at least starting in March, maybe just doing one profile a month, but doing more like community spotlights. People have been reaching out to me, telling me about other people in the community and what they're doing and stuff, and I'm just thinking like, this would be really cool to start spotlighting somebody in our newsletter, on our social media, at least once a month. And this woman, I can't think of her name right now, and I can't figure out where I saved it. I thought I had it in this document, but her name is Carolyn Nichols, I think. She's a judge out in Philly, and she's on the ballot to be elected for like attorney judge or something. I can't remember exactly. But she was like, I love Black Experience and I want to work with you guys. I know you're a nonprofit, but like I want people to know I'm out here on the ballot and, Black women. I'm like, of course. So I said, we're nonpartisan, but we can come up with a way to let people know that you are out here doing great things. But I told her, I said, perhaps maybe like for Women's History Month. So I'm thinking of creating like a, community regional spotlight or something, and spotlighting her and being like, hey, she's a judge. Hey, she's running for whatever the position is. So with that, if any of you know other people that aren't necessarily running for anything, but it's like, hey, we can spotlight this person. Hey, this student did something. Hey, or even if you have something cool going on, let me know, because I want to start spotlighting folks in the community more often.
Is it possible? Let me show you this. This is the last thing and this is also what we're doing. We're doing Black Excellence in Medicine, Untold Stories. And so we're going to do this and feature these women in medicine throughout the series. So every time we have an event, we're going to show 2. And so, of course, we're going to put Rebecca Davis Lee. She's the first African-American doctor in the United States. So we're going to feature her. We're going to feature the one who came up with the Moderna vaccine, Mae Jemison, Joan Reed. So we're going to it's not going to be in this one PowerPoint. We're going to separate them out, and we put the Pan-African flag colors at the bottom. But purple is Women History Month, so we wanted to use purple, but we also mixed it with our culture too.
These are great.
We're going to feature these women. We got more, but we don't have it yet.
Yeah.
But we're going to feature just 2 slides for each and tell their story. One of the things I can recommend, because I like what you're saying about us featuring people in the Scranton community, what we could do is put it on the website and ask people to submit, and they can submit a brief bio, maybe 3 to 4 sentences. Perfect. I'm very strict about that 3 to 4 sentences. I'm like, don't play with me. I'm counting 3 to 4 sentences, and I'm cutting everything else off because it just doesn't fit on the side good. I don't have time to be trying to figure out what to write for you. I want you to write it. And so asking them to submit a picture and also their bio. And I actually created, because I reached out to Women in Medicine for Geisinger, and I created what is your famous quote? What motivated you? So I created 4 or 5 questions for them to answer, and then I'm going to share that because we have so many untold stories. Yes. We're invisible, and so how do we make ourselves visible? And that's the research that I do. How making the invisible visible. And so I've been doing that since forever. And so, when you talk about spotlighting people in the community and making sure that we're nonpartisan, I'm 100% behind you. I created a Google link so that they can just click on
like, but she thinks like some sort of alliance with women, especially women of color out here, would be super beneficial, but doesn't know how to go about it. But like whatever. And I said, that's crazy that you said that because I have an idea that I want to do at Black Scranton, and if you want to help us make it a thing, then let's go for it. So here's my idea for a women's league, and we can think about if we want to do this or not, but here's the idea on the table. So with what Heather told me, I was thinking of calling a women's league for the Black Scranton Project League of Electric Ladies. I think that sounds cool. It aligns with like, the vibe. So I don't really know what this league would do besides maybe support women in business and doing a bunch of things like that, groups, allyship stuff. I don't really know. I feel like just having support and knowing that there's like a group of mostly women of color or in marginalized spaces that will work on projects or whatever with you. The idea can hone itself in later, but something that I was thinking about. Which also kind of leads to more committees, breaking down committees and having them operate and do more for the community in Black Scranton is something that I'm thinking about. Do I know how to really execute it? I don't. So help with that too would be great, because with this women's league or whatever, I think it would be amazing and can trickle into different things like teaching people and getting people prepared to vote and knowing how to vote, and maybe even steering them towards candidacies and stuff, because people come to Black Scranton all the time and ask, who's running? Who should I vote for? Or like, or the opposite, I'm running. How do I reach the community? So wait, you're mute, Vicky.
We can do something like meet the candidates and bring all the candidates so that they can hear the issue. But we can do the platform.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I like this idea about a women's league, but I really think we need to do a men's league too, because
for sure.
The Black man and
that's what I was gonna say next.
I mean, they're just like no one's caring about them. Like, I mean, women, we talking, we doing stuff, and usually the Black man is like, they don't want to talk because either they get mad and they like, look, I'm about to take you out or whatever. But we gotta do some wraparound services for Black men too, or BIPOC, right? I like that, BIPOC, Black Indigenous People of Color.
Well, I've been talking to several guys over the past 6 or 7 months. I've actually been trying to start like a artist coalition here in Luzerne County, since I currently live in Wilkes-Barre, but it's just kind of difficult finding young men who are motivated and goal oriented. But I did some work with the Keystone Ironworks, and Nikki Moser introduced me to a couple of gentlemen who actually who teach at Marywood University. So I've been thinking the same thing too, especially after after uh, our presentation for Black History Month. Is like I'm the only guy on the board, and so I definitely want to kind of strengthen the numbers with men, because once again we're kind of underheard right now, but at the same time it's I don't know, it doesn't seem like there's a lot to motivate the young men in this area. So I have been thinking about this for a while and trying to come up with something that will help younger men and the intellectuals come out and put forth ideas and help bring better change to the community. So
absolutely.
But the more the merrier.
The Boys and Girls Club has this thing called the Young Gents Club.
I try to get a job at the Boys and Girls Club, and they have the one gentleman there, and I talked to him about some things, and he just seemed so unreceptive. I tried to go there before I went to outreach. The Boys and Girls Club was going to be something.
That go ahead, John. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
With the center coming, if we can almost mimic the Young Gents Club and put our own brand on it, put our own goals into it, kind of define what the different age groups would be and what the target goals for those age groups would be, and then in the event that we do have a group for the older Black men, sort of partnering up program with them.
Yeah.
But I think that the Young Gents Club, with our own name on it, would be the way to mold the teenagers coming up in the area.
So how about this? Like all of these clubs and things, we can keep developing because what I'm also thinking about too is if we get these little committees, now we'll have a bigger space we can social distance and we'll have the parking lot for outside to say, hey, if you're interested in this men's club, come to the parking lot at our space and we can figure out how to get things going too. Well, we're also figuring out, how we want these to go. If Travis is going to be appointed for that, or who else, you know what I'm saying, where we have time to just develop these instead of being like, okay, because it's March, let's announce it, you know what I mean? But I think these are amazing ideas and doable. So Travis, also for that, I'm going to keep my eyes out for other men that one would be interested in joining our board because I think we need more guys on the team, but also too for other people who might be interested in doing that like men's group that you were talking about. Because I think like Mood, Marcus, our friend Marcus, might be interested in like it, especially more on the arts and the creative side of things. And he's also interested in like mentoring to a degree. So even though he's kind of like more far out, but he's still a cool human being who's into art and into creative. So yeah, I say all that to say that I think we might know a couple people who would want to maybe get in on this project, and then I'll give us some time over the next couple months to figure out how we can make those happen and come up with names too. So
you can definitely, I would like, to consider melanin, onyx,
I was thinking about stones too. Now that you said that too, like stone colors.
blackness,
Mm-hmm.
melanin club, onyx, something to that nature to keep it in the black family,
Yeah.
black excellence, group, the black excellence group, and just doing a bunch of stuff in regards to the STEAM, So yes, art is important, but really looking at science, technology, engineering, and math would be excellent because they give out so many scholarships and fellowships in regards to that. And it doesn't even matter if it's a new pop up, as long as you're doing STEAM. So I'm also thinking about whatever we do, however we focus it, if we have the medical school there, so we can have those students tutoring in the sciences, right? So we can use the gyms that are already in our communities, and we can do something with STEAM, science, technology, engineering, math, medicine, right? And art, wait, science, technology, engineering, art, math, and medicine. Those 7 areas. And if we can concentrate on that, we can go for so many grants because there's so many grants in all 7 of those areas. So really looking long term and saying whatever we do, like Danya said, when we create the description, when we create the language and all of that stuff, and honestly, we're gonna have to borrow from the Delta because I got everything.
Hey,
I worked on all.
I love the Deltas. I definitely.
I created all of those forms, and I'd be damn if I'm gonna create new forms when I
Hey,
already
why
created.
reinvent the wheel if it's already
2007.
there?
I'm gonna.
And I used to teach robotics, so maybe I can teach kids how to make like a motorized car or something. So simple. But yeah, we can totally get these programs moving. And like I said, but by April we will have the keys, which will give us time to acclimate ourselves with the space, see what we can do with the space in the meantime between renovating it and everything else. So I think that I think we're in a great space to move towards getting this done. So I'm excited. Um, so what else for March? Do we have the community spotlights, those things, women's health, Women's History Month? The other thing that I am thinking about for March also, actually, I already touched on that, the community spotlights and things, new or in the past. I think I'm still trying to, hopefully by next week, I don't know, I just do little bits at a time to get Louise's story out there. I want to put it in a blog, put it in a video, put it on the website this month. So eventually hers will be there. The next huge pressing thing is June and Juneteenth. And because we have a whole new space that will be ours by then, I really want us to turning 2, which is fantastic. So this is the time where we can start brainstorming for what we want to do for June. Like, we were in Nayoth Park yesterday. We continue that same legacy, which I think we should do in Nayoth Park. I was thinking of like a whole weekend situation. So like a block party in our parking lot or something. You know, maybe invite a couple vendors or like local people to show off what we got going on. I also, for June, want to kick off like a mural project since we will have our property. The city's going up about murals and this whole mural project. I wanted to talk to them about it. Travis, I know we've been talking about a mural project or something. There's a few other artists that have been asking if we're ever going to do a mural project, like Alessio, who's an artist friend of mine, also Tessa, who did the woman Afro thing, who I'm hoping to share that graphic with this month. She also asked about a mural project. So I know there's tons of local POC artists that would want to help. It could be a huge, cool mural. It could be like everyone takes a section and does something. The possibilities are endless, but I do really want us to do a community art project for Black Experience and for Juneteenth. And I think it would be cool if we did a community mural where, like, if we did have a block party, people can come out. I've seen and I've participated in murals where they're like kind of like color by number. So if you come through to the block party, it's like, hey, if you grab a paintbrush, we're painting number 5 yellow. So if you see a 5 painted yellow, look, help with this mural. And I think it'll make people feel like, hey, like I was a part of this, you know.
Absolutely.
It would be something fun to do.
18th, 19th, 20th.
Yes, because June 19th this year is on Saturday. June 20th is also Father's Day, which I still think could be something cool and fun to do for Father's Day on the 20th. It's also my birthday, so I still need it to be fun either way. So my birthday is always going to be aligned with Black Experience, which I'm not mad at. I feel like that's the universe. But yeah, so I want to do something fun on that Father's Day. Go for the dads, because that's the day I was born on Father's Day. So it's like, this is my dad's too, so we gotta go hard. So, I mean, if you guys have any ideas for that, I'm going to be starting in March to working on Juneteenth because it's going to be huge. It's also going to be Men's History Month, so I also want to push that for the dads in June and everything else, and the men, and seeing what we can really do. Because, like we were saying, I do want to focus our attention on the masculine humans and see, like, you know, representing that. Also, with LGBTQ in June, there's a lot of like ways that we can really turn up for our community, and I want to try and give each of them space. So anything for Pride is also the following week. We could do in the city, like, so just be thinking about that. Even if we cover bases for each part of our community, you know, that'd be, I count that as a successful Juneteenth if we represent the community as broadly, you know, Hispanic, Native, disabled, women, trans, like, yeah. So if this Juneteenth we can really, really incorporate it, it'd be cool. You know, last year was all about the movement, which still continues.
And you can actually do a showcase, right? Ask those different organizations if they wanted to take some time and showcase something or do something or whatever. And my big announcement is I'm on the board of Rainbow Alliance now.
Oh, great! That is fantastic. Yes, congratulations. That's so good.
They have 22 applicants, and I had to interview, and I was like, look, as a cisgender, heterosexual black woman, I need to speak out about stuff. And
I'm glad you're on that board.
When you have marginalized people, you need people who are part of the dominant culture to talk, right? Yeah. Just like when all this stuff was happening with George Floyd, nobody at my institution said anything. And it's only 2 black people there. Yeah. And I'm just like, none of the dominant culture is going to support me. And I know how it feels to not be supported. So as a cisgender, heterosexual black female, yes, I want to be on this board because I want people to understand that we need to be more open, we need to be more understanding, and we need to support people who are oppressed. And so they were like, you can't tell anyone. There was 22 candidates. You have to wait until the board meeting on Tuesday, February 23rd. So that's why I was like, I have an announcement. And so we had the board meeting. They only picked 5 people out of the 22. And so I was one of those folks picked. So such a vibe.
I know, really. Everybody will not stop talking about you since.
I said, Vicky, you were such a vibe. Thank you. And so I was like, I just gotta, I have family members who are gay, and I'm finding out all late in the game because they didn't feel like,
Yeah.
They could feel supported, or they didn't want to tell anyone, so they're living in secret. I'm like, this is craziness. What are we doing? If I'm saying that I need to be my authentic self, I need you to be your authentic self too. I can't silence your voice. When people try to silence my voice, it's a fight. I'm like, oh, you telling me I don't give a hell if you're a vice president? I'm gonna say what I need to say. And they're like, title don't mean nothing to me. So if I'm saying this, I gotta allow space for other people to feel comfortable as well.
Right.
So I'm on the board. I told them I'm probably gonna mess up, but if they can forgive me and help me and teach me, and I don't know everything, but they can teach me. And they said we're willing to work with you. You are a hoot. And yes, we want you to be on the board. So I'm on the board, and I'm over their education and advocacy. I'm a co-chair for the education and advocacy committee.
Amazing. That is great. Yeah, they had asked me to be on the board. Pretty much a lot of these boards have asked me. I just been turning down because I can't.
You got a lot, and you need to be able to balance that. So that's good.
Yeah.
But
I want to get like our org to a space that's like, great. So I can't do it. So
well, I'm on the board, so now.
So that's great. That's what I mean. We got our hand in there too. We are extended. Like, great. I love it. So the other thing I wanted to touch on is like fundraising and things. I want to develop like committees. I still want to like do my blast that says, we're looking for people to be on committees and intern and social media people and archival committee. Do you want to do some research with us? You into that kind of thing? Like the time is now. So like I said, in this whole week, I'm trying to focus on our website, focus on expressing our needs so we can get it and having a way to get it. Like, and I do know that there's people who've been saying like, hey, like I can write grants. I know where the money is. And we're trying to get to where the money resides. So I'm trying to meet with them. So hopefully, and I know Daniel, we were talking about that before, like grants and fundraising and stuff. So also the senator said, hey, let me know, like we need to talk about what the building needs. I said, of course we're going to do that. So I'm trying to have these bigger conversations about funding and making sure that we are sustained for a long time. So if you know of any grants or if there's any opportunities, please let me know. I'm trying to find more people who want to just dedicate themselves to making sure we have grants and can, apply for them. Because what I am learning is people who are like, you should apply for this thing, but it's really hard and complicated and like, yeah. So
it's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, a lot more goes into it than what some people need, and I'm trying to figure out that space and find people who can be on our team that want to focus mainly on fundraising and grants and stuff like that.
And so one of the things that I've done is I've made everyone pre-register, and so when they pre-register for the event, we can get their demographics. And so when they say what demographics do you service coming to your event, when we force them to register, yeah, it's great to do stuff live, put it on Facebook, but damn it, we need grants, we need money. And so having people pre-register, we can capture some of those demographics. So today, I'm going to create a evaluation form real quick, and I'm going to send that out to all the people who pre-registered. I'm going to try to keep it to 5 questions, but really looking at what are your needs. Do you have any feedback about what you participated in? What would you like to see? So I'm trying to get it down to 5 questions, but I'm not a 5 questions chick, right? I'm a researcher, so I'm like, I'm putting 10 questions. I want to know it all, but I'm gonna try to get it to we can get it to be able to use that to get the grant. So I'm trying, and I'm gonna do it for each of the series. I'm gonna do it for Black History Month. I'm gonna send that out tomorrow and ask people to fill it out, and whoever fills it out, yeah. I want us to begin to think about creating PowerPoint slides
things like that. What about thinking about another committee that does events focused on bringing in funds? And that's strictly what their events are. Now, if we educate and we do inclusive stuff in the event, great. But the entire target of that, you know what I mean? And target businesses that have money, put a letter out there. Did you want to donate? This is what we do. This is what your money would do for us. Look at what the big organizations are doing. The big nonprofits are doing. Can we pull off a race? Are we there?
I'll look at my Dropbox and get you those letters, those sponsor letters, and all of that other stuff from Delta. And all you gotta do.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
great.
why reinvent the wheel when we have a wheel that we can use? Sweet.
Amazing. And Danya, that's perfect and a great point.
Sponsor,
Thank you.
all of that.
And so the next part of that too is I started to create a spreadsheet with funders, people that support us, who's given us money. It's a work in progress, but like I said, this whole web organizing week, I'm trying to create like a folder that's like, here's our invoice template, here's all those things, and I'll put those in there too. So that way too, when we're like, hey, who typically gives us money, or who do we need to send a reminder or thank you to? We have like a spreadsheet. So I have a working spreadsheet that I'll share. It's actually pretty expansive. I'm quite proud. I've got far with it. So I'll share that with you guys after this coming week. But we can add that in there. And Danya, yes, we need to.
Because actually, the tables at Juneteenth, you need to sell those tables, right?
Yes, and that's what I was thinking
Purchase
too.
the tables if they want to sell their items or whatever. I mean, it could be $50 or $75 a table, but if they want to have a table, then they need to pay for it.
Yeah, like vendor, like fee or something.
Vendor table. Absolutely.
And we have to check on permits if we do that. That's why I didn't want to do it last year because we needed a permit.
Yeah.
So now this time I can start to look and ask the city. And the city most likely going to say yes without any ladders for us, but we just have to know. And I think because how big it was last year on the fly, if we're able to be in the park, it'll be even better.
Bigger.
And if we can get vendors, I'd like to even make it regional, like being like, hey, Black-owned vendors of any kind,
Exactly.
across the state, come through.
Why not? Why not? Let it
This is the time to experience Blackness. I want to be like, hey, this is what we out here. Like, see, this is our day, you know?
Exactly. And see about getting a banner to hang up in the city.
Oh, yeah, Alex at Center City, they can do that, and the city will probably okay. Because when I was in there getting stuff for Juneteenth, or Black History Month, they were doing a banner for somebody's birthday in front of City Hall. So
yeah, I saw that.
Great idea. That's a great idea.
Get a banner for Juneteenth, too. And we can hang that up.
Great. Okay. All right. Because I know Danya's still at work, so thank you for rocking with us for this entire hour. I think we've reached the end of all my notes here. Really, like I said, I'm considering bringing Heather onto the board, so we can talk about that in the next coming week too, because I think she brings a lot of ideas, and she's also loves to create events. And that whole read along thing was pretty much her idea. I just kind of stole it for Black Scranton, so.
And Heather Rose is the one who started NAACP here.
Yes, exactly. And then that is the last part of my meeting. I took notes on all of the stuff. This is shared with you guys so you can see the scrappy notes on the meeting agenda. And if you keep going through, then you'll see the recording studio that we want to have in there. And if you keep going through, you'll see Travis's like art studio and like where the art lab and design lab will be.
Awesome.
And then if you keep going further, you'll see the library. So they're going to create a virtual like Black Panther Project Center for Arts and Culture that will live on this permanent archived like blockchain. So it's kind of like this new pioneer frontier of like art and curating and archives. And there's a couple other bigger institutions in the project. Fisk University is going to be on this blockchain project. We're a part of it, and a couple other smaller creatives. So we're going to be like in this new frontier of like art and design and museum spaces. So I'm really excited that this will align with Juneteenth. So we could be like, hey guys, it's still a pandemic, so if you want to like celebrate the opening of our center, you can see it virtually. Like people can still experience it almost the same, but obviously more unique. So, which is really cool. So I have to send them a deposit soon, which would be fine. I think it's like $1,500 most, which we have, and I just deposited $1,200 the other day, so we're still pretty even. But I'm gonna send them the proposal that they gave us to Lackawanna County Arts to see what they can fund. I got a couple emails from other like smaller foundations that want to fund projects, so I'm just gonna say, hey, here's this proposal. Like, can you cover all of it? Because sometimes like I'll tell 3 people we have projects, the same one project that needs to be funded. Sometimes all 3 of them will pay for all of it, or sometimes all 3 will pay for a third of it. You know, so we'll see if we can get that covered. But either way, it's a project that will put us like in a groundbreaking field, ahead of the curve for museums, ahead of the curve for archiving, and ahead of the curve for art. And I think that's where we need to be. So yeah, I'll keep you posted as that develops and all of like the drafts and like the virtual scapes once they start to come together, because that's exciting. So that was the last big thing that I wanted to kind of touch on. So yeah, thank you guys for helping kill it this Black History Month. Big the women stuff together this month. I'll have those flyers. I have a cool idea that I want to use the art that Tessa gave us to kind of help low-key promote the center, but also it has the women and like keeps on the whole. It's cute. Yeah, so you'll see it tomorrow. I'm a finesse. It's gonna be nice, and then we'll have some flyers for that.
Is that going to be new merch for us too?
It can be. I was thinking about putting it on a mug or a shirt. Also, the other thing that I did, we got more masks. Those black ones with the little logo on the side. I got a really good deal on getting the vinyls like that you press onto there. So I got a whole bunch of them. So we can make T-shirts. We can make more masks for a quarter of the price. So
nice.
If
Do
we
you want to
did-
raffle those off at our talks this month? Raffle
Sure.
off.
How many do you need? Because I have those little tags. Remember, I put them in with the Black Health, with the voting matters thing.
I don't know, whatever amount you want to give, we can just raffle off. I was raffling off the Black History mask. I was doing 15 per session.
I could give you 10 of them.
Okay. So
Take it
we
from
have
them.
3 sessions, so you can give me 9. We can do 3 each session. I don't know.
Okay, or I could give you 12. I'll see, because I'm gonna make some more. I just packed them all up in those little packs the other night, and I think I have about 30, but I'll count and see how many.
Nice.
But I want to.
You know where I live, so if you need to drop them off, and then what we can do is raffle them off for those 3 evening events. We can raffle them off, and whoever wins, they get it. And we can just think about that's how we can get the merchandise out there for men. Make sure you have enough for the men as well, because I don't want to do stuff for women and not do it for the men.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know.
And that was the last other thing that I didn't talk about was the merch. So the merch is still here in my hallway. It's not where it was. Well, Travis saw it. It's not in the doorway anymore. I made my office into an office. It's not like functional yet, but it looks like an office, so it's back there. That's the other piece of it, because I was playing around. Obviously, Vicky saw what the packaging would like actually look like, because one of the packages I put her thing. I was like, let me see if this will work with this, and just give it to people that I promised merch to. So for the most part, the hoodies will fit into the packaging that I stuffed it in, but I need to do a little bit more research on like the label I will. We have some real prints. Yeah, we can.
I frame everything. Trust me.
So,
All right. Well, I love you guys. Good to see you. I gotta jump.
okay. Bye. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up in a second. But
Oh, well, I can say that a little bit, a little bit.
okay. Well, I was just gonna say, yeah, I'm trying to figure out the best way to get this merch out, but I feel like it's so universal that people will buy it probably still in the summertime, even if we have more merch available. I just want to really keep inventory, even though I already gave like what 10 of them out now, including the board and like the few that I just gave away. But still, we'll still make a good profit. At least make what we spent plus that, so double that. But I just want to make sure that this year we are keeping track of inventory, like of hoodies, like what is being given out versus what we actually sold. So I'm trying to work on that too. And I have a little makeshift little
Excel
notepad,
spreadsheet.
yeah, in my phone that says it all. But I want to put it on a spreadsheet and put it up with our document stuff. So
Yeah, you
that way,
definitely want to use the Excel spreadsheet
yeah.
and put the formulas in, and it'll subtract it and do all of that. If you don't know how to do it, let me know, and I'll come
Okay,
in.
then yeah, I'll probably just send you what it like what I have. It's not much on there. It doesn't say much, but if
Yeah,
you
send it to me, and I'll create the formulas and everything so that every time
okay,
you do one, whenever you put something in, it'll subtract it and do all of that stuff for you. You don't have to
yeah,
count on your fingers and toes. You can just put the formula into Excel.
amazing. So
You
that's
know what
pretty
I
much
was
the last.
thinking?
Huh?
I'm sorry. I was just thinking like for example the sweatshirts, the black strand hoodies that you just had done and the crew necks.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that be kind of cool if we had those for like back to school, like in kid sizes?
that would be amazing. We could totally get some.
I love it.
Oh, and you know what? We could do like a back to school drive and give kids
Yeah,
little backpacks that say like Black
yeah, yeah,
President
yeah.
or with like a bunch of like school stuff.
And
And
we
kids
could
can
announce
get
that at Juneteenth. We can have people donate the backpacks filled with stuff. Donate to the Black Scranton
and we have
Project.
a whole place to store it.
Yeah, and we collect it at Juneteenth. And then we can put
Yeah.
it in the back. Then we can put the sweatshirts, Bettina. We can put the sweatshirts into the backpack. So they would have to give us the backpack with the supplies, and
Yep.
then we put the sweatshirts in. And this could be part of Danya's club of little people,
Yeah.
black excellence
Whatever it's gonna
or
be
teeth
named.
or whatever. And I would like to, do. I love this stuff because I love the mentoring part of it, doing leadership type of workshops with them, teaching them how to step. I'm a step person too, just so y'all know.
Okay.
And then, well, I don't know. I don't know if I
So
can still do it, but I know I used to step.
yeah. Also, Bettina, to your point, really quickly, I think too for Juneteenth, if we are like starting our school back to school drive, need a laptop to do the laptop drive again because
Yes.
a lot of these kids don't have it, and that way we'll know. Okay, this kid, this family, their address. Once we get the laptops in, we can say we have a laptop for your kid. Boom, here it is, here it is, here it is, and we can continue because I was worried about hurrying up to get this drive going and then missing kids or doing it crazily. As y'all know, I'm like I'm a perfectionist. I can't help it, but
Yeah.
we're working on it. But I think that would be easier that way if we have our iPad out there where it's just like boom, 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 sign them up, and then once August rolls around, we're just like, here's your backpack with all your black screen stuff and your laptop, and then have people dropping them off. I think it could be cute.
Yeah. I think it would be cool, and I would love to like have it like social media, like a flood of kids on their first day of school wearing their black screen.
And stuff.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
hot.
gonna cry already. Yes, yes.
That
With
would
their
be
black
so
screens in
cute.
here. Their black pack.
Oh man, the black
Yes.
pack.
The black
That would
pack.
be cute.
Yo,
I'll
that's
put
what's
it in
up.
my notes. Okay, we're gonna
I'm
work on
all
the
for
black
it.
pack.
I'm all for it.
All
The
right,
black
great.
pack.
All right, all right. I'm putting it in the notes.
Everything black. I like that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cook my lamb. I've got to cook my chicken.
Ooh,
Uh,
I'm at the wrong house tonight.
but
All
I like
right.
that black pack.
I like that. It was actually cute on the fly. Okay, so let me add this to our notes. Um, back to school drive and black packs. Back to school. And I'm sure Connie would be really into this too. Also.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. And then we get like minds active.
That's great. We can totally do that.
Maybe working with the library so that maybe, and even doing those virtual books that they have virtual access.
Definitely.
I have a virtual card for the library here. I'm not going to nobody's library. I just get the books on my cell phone.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna just we can just leave it here.
Okay, because we've been on all night.
I know.
Blackity black black. That was one of the things.
That was great.
For Black History Month, I'm black, but I'm blackity black black. I like that logo too.
Okay. So
I may have to call on you and see what logos you want for the men. I want to get your perspective on that, and also if you have any men that want to talk.
So usually around Juneteenth is when I commission an artist to do some more logos for us or some more like summer art. So yeah, if we know any artists that we want to have some art commissioned for us, I mean, we can look at Travis, but like Travis is not more of the graphic artist side, but you're more than welcome, you know.
I plan on buying a iPad tomorrow with Procreate because I got a book deal where I'm gonna do some illustrations for a book coming up, so definitely have to expand my palette a little bit as far as how I can create art. So I'm gonna go invest in a tablet.
They got to you before I did. That just really hit me.
What happened?
I said it's something just about how you just said palette that just really hit me. Crazy in the background. Go ahead, Travis.
I know. Hey, Travis, they got to you before I did.
No, we're gonna do a Black Scranton original children book series too, yeah.
I know. I'm trying to start that too. I'm trying to see if I can get a book deal somewhere.
Yeah.
A children's book and an adult companion.
Speaking of book deals, I'm going to be published in Denmark in about 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
It's a business title, but congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
That's amazing.
They thought that I just knew one thing, and I'm like, you know how we are as Black people. We not no one trick ponies. So I bogarted my way onto this global think tank to talk about digital adaptation for the maritime industry. So,
wow.
Hey, congratulations! Wow. I've been doing that plus my new job. I'm trying to get to a point where I can incorporate and bring back some functionalities about sustainability to Black Scranton, because that's one of those social determinants of health about environmental racism. Absolutely. From the asbestos in the schools to all these other different, concerns that we have, COVID numbers, all those types of things that disproportionately affect us. So I'm trying to do. I haven't said anything about it because I really want to have something formal, but that's kind of what I'm working on as my side, off to the side kind of thing, through some of these things that I've been writing and involved with. So.
Well, I think that's fantastic, and this leads me to something I was going to ask. Well, formalize with everybody on Monday, but I have to get our attorney formalized board titles. Most of us have formalized board titles, but not everyone. I felt like I came up with one. But Bettina, we have yours now. Can we just call you the director of sustainable initiatives or sustainability initiatives?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Because I feel like that's cooler than just board of director, you know. So yeah, all right. Well, then I'm gonna also.
Yeah, because when we get in the building, the first thing I want is I want solar on the roof. I want our.
Me too. I know.
I'm psychotic about that building. It's gonna be.
It will, and it will be. It really will be. So.
I want a living wall with some herbs or something, like a kid's garden.
Oh wow.
My house. We already know there's gonna be plants. You haven't seen my house.
How's Bettina doing, Glennis?
Bettina didn't make it from.
That's okay. One of my plants died too because I've been traveling so much. One of my plants died.
But the pot has a new plant in it, so the legacy continues.
Bettina 2.0. Okay.
2.0. She has a different hairstyle, you know.
Oh, okay.
Bye, ladies.
Good night.
Good night. Have a good night.
All right. So that was our board meeting. As you can see, I don't say much during the board meetings. I'm the only guy on the board, so I just listen to a lot of ideas. And sometimes I have some ideas. Most of the time I don't. I'm just like the muscle. You just tell me what you need to do, or tell me what you need to be done, and I'll go do that. You know? What do you need me to do? You need me to pick stuff up and put stuff down? I'm the guy. You know? Now, I'm hungry, but I might actually stay up in here for a minute. I want to try to at least paint this sky and get a nice layer of paint on that sky real quick. But I'm hungry, so what I'm going to do is go heat up a slice of pizza and then come up and chat for a minute, and then we're going to paint some blue on this canvas. I'll be right back. You think about getting some of my pizza, don't you? Now, bye. Go downstairs. Motherfucker following me all the way up here for a pepperoni.
Naturalism is pointing to things that are mystery, and you can't solve a mystery by appealing to a bigger mystery.
No, that's a good point, and I agree that there. I don't. So okay, my theism would not include the supernatural. Okay, what I'm saying is
Well,
that
no, stop, Kyle. Because if your version doesn't include the supernatural, then all you have is the natural, which means naturalism is.
That's I don't. So I'm trying to like open your mind to what I would call it a supreme naturalism, where the foundation is supreme, it's still natural, it's still the same kind of thing.
This is a load of nonsense. See, you started with the call screener by contrasting naturalism and theism. And I pointed out that those two aren't a true dichotomy. And then you point out that your version of theism doesn't include the supernatural. It includes supernatural, or whatever it was you called it, to make it distinct from the natural. If you don't include the supernatural, then naturalism is all there is.
No, right. So what I'm saying is, let's take. Okay, so
Kyle, I'm gonna let you finish.
Yeah.
But when you say no, right, I know that you're not paying attention and actually thinking about it, because those are contradictory things. No means
Yeah, but that shit ain't wet.
I agree with you.
Congratulations on doing it immediately after. Go ahead.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, I can agree with you guys that all that exists is the natural, right? But what I'm saying is, okay, let's just modify so whatever the necessary thing is, let's just modify it and make it supreme, right? And just take out.
Oh, I'm not interested in making shit up. I actually wanted to have conversations with people who believe in God for a good reason.
No, I know, but.
Oh my goodness. All right. Another one?
I don't know. I feel like I'm
Are you at your apex?
It's like I feel like I'm the only one that's been talking, and that's rude to you. And so I owe Shannon a massive apology. So I will sit here and do my best to not call bullshit on the next caller.
You're absolutely fine. You're good. All right, David, what would you like to talk about? Hello, David.
Oh,
David.
Hi.
Hi.
Yes.
What would you like to talk about?
So I'm a atheist, and for Matt, I'm a foreman, a former Mormon.
Ah, you should have been on the call earlier.
I know that you were. I heard, yes, that was even. I have a mini library in my room, and I have the Book of Mormon in my library in my religion section, next to the Constitution.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I was Mormon all my life until I was about 17, 18. Wanted to believe, knew there had to be some God, something like that.
This. Yes, that's right. It is Resident Evil Village, scheduled for release in 2021. So, this presentation is being interpreted live into both...
Hey now, think positively, all right? We talked about this.
I know. We hardly talk about anything else.
Castle heralds danger. The bell tolls for us all. They're coming again.
Mother Miranda, I regret to inform you that Ethan Winters has escaped that fool Heisenberg. Because he is in my castle and has already proven too much for my daughters to handle. When I find him... No, Mother Miranda. Yes, of course, I understand the importance of the ceremony.
What the fuck? How come I didn't know this was coming out?
I won't let you down.
No, I did not. No.
Someone please tell me, what the hell is going on here?
No. The place is full of nothing but blood and death.
Well, Ethan Winters. There you are.
Who the fuck are you?
Let's see what you're really made of, Ethan Winters.
Yo. I see. I agree to say that. It looks very, very similar to Biohazard. I have Biohazard and I played it in VR. I ain't even ashamed to admit this. I did not finish the game. It was too spooky for me. So what? Laugh, motherfucker. I don't care. I don't care if you laugh. It's all good. You know, it's all good. Resident Evil Biohazard VR scared the shit out of me. I did not finish the game. I was good. I'm okay. You know, I can imagine it ended in some weird, gory, hard. I don't know. But I did not play it all the way through. I'll tell you that much. It was spooky and creepy, especially in VR. So, I just kindly set it to the side. I'm not even worrying about PS5 right now, bro. Right. After the first couple months and you figured out you can't, it's still so hard to get it. It's just like, screw that. I'm not even going to stress myself out. I have two Xbox. I have two PlayStation Pros. This is the Pro console. I had it when it first came out. Like when they first put out the Pros, I immediately traded in both of my regular PlayStations and got these. But this one literally just sits here. This is all I do with this console right here. I don't play games on this. This is just for streaming. Like I'm not in the studio all day up here like streaming and playing video games. Like I have a PS4 Pro downstairs in the living room. And so I'm good right now with the two Pro consoles. Like I say, there's barely any official PS5 games, and then the ones that are strictly like made for PS5 aren't games that I really want to play any damn way. But everything else you can still like. The last game I was really excited for was Cyberpunk, and I mean you can play that on this console. So I don't know. It's not like I was like I'm so desperate. Even though I like having the consoles day one, like I had the last Xbox, I had that day one. PS4 had that day one. The VR set, I had that day one. I've always had my gaming stuff like as soon as they come out because I don't mind pre-ordering my stuff. But it's this generation is just it's weird. It's hard to get the shit. They're blaming it on COVID and low production, and because Sony underpriced their hardware, so they weren't sure if they're going to make a profit, and all these other reasons why it's so hard to get the console right now. And I get it. I understand. All right, this time I'm not gonna be like one of the first people to have it. So, but it's like, all right, whatever. Just wait. I'll just just wait until they're readily available, because I'm not gonna keep like stressing myself out trying to find these shits, and I'm definitely not gonna pay scalper prices. Motherfuckers wanting an extra $300-400 or sometimes double price for the console, and there's still some people out there still trying to sell them for like $1,200. Like, I'm good on that. So they can remain scarce as long as they want. I don't really expect to have a PlayStation till next year, probably. How this pandemic shit is going, and everybody's still stuck at home, and yeah, exactly. So oh my god, it was so much smoke just out. Jesus Christ. Damn. Shit. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Next year. It'll take this whole year to like quench half the demands for this shit. So I'm like I say, I don't even expect this year to get one, and maybe like the first part of next year, I might get one of them shits for my birthday. My birthday in June. So June next year, like halfway through next year, I might be able to get a PS5. But then, by then, it'll be revamped with slightly different specs, because they'll tweak something in 2 years. Um, they already got the black, the factory black one that comes from the factory in black. So they have that, and they'll have more games out for it. So, and hopefully the network will be more robust by then too. I'm good. I'll wait. Yeah, the hardware, because of slow production. They can't get all the shit they need to make the fucking components for this shit. All right, I'm about to paint in a second. No, the PS4 wasn't hard to get. Like I said, I pre-ordered 2 PS4s and 2 Xbox Ones when they came out. I pre-ordered the PS3. I've always had my consoles pre-ordered. And that's why I was so weird. Like, first day notification of pre-orders, I went to GameStop and tried to pre-order my PlayStation. It was like, I'm like, no, they're all sold out. Each GameStop only had 10 consoles, and they all went online immediately. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. And I was like, well, I'll just, pre-order one from somewhere else. And that's when everybody realized, like, nope, you're not getting that shit. If you're not lucky or some super hacker nerd with a bunch of bots, you just didn't get that shit. Yeah, but the PS4, like, them shits came out. I pre-ordered mine, paid my shit off. I went to pick my shit up day one. And then when I heard they were putting out the pros, I just went and got my slot for 2 pros and traded in my 2 old PS4s and got that shit like the day they came out. So I've been gaming. I'll be 40 years old this year. I've been gaming since I was like 7 years old. I've been buying video games since the PS1 was the first gaming console I bought with my own fucking money. Myself. I paid for that shit myself. That was over 20 something years ago. I've had every fucking PlayStation console. All of them. It's only 4. You know, but it's just like, wow, I never thought I wouldn't be able to buy a fucking PlayStation. Like, you can't buy a PlayStation? Like, what the fuck? I've had every fucking PlayStation. Nope, not this time around, buddy. Like, oh well. Fuck you, Sony. Been supporting you for goddamn 20-something years. Well, fucking down to half my life I've been playing PlayStation. But, like you say, supplies are limited. You know, it is what it is. Man, we about to paint some boring ass shit right now. I ain't gonna say boring because I love painting. But we just gonna go over the sky. So this, I did this underpainting months ago actually. But I've had several commissions come up and a bunch of other stuff. And so just now in the past week or so, I've been able to get back to my own projects. So we've been working on that painting right there for a couple days, and it's coming along nicely. It's looking really good now. It's not finished yet, but I'll let it dry for a couple days and come back and add a little more details to that and wrap that one up. But this is the next one. Like I said, it's just the underpainting. So we're gonna start adding the second layer of paint to here, and I just want to start with the sky, and just get that sky done because it's a big portion of the canvas, and it'll be the easiest part to do. So let's just work on that for a second. Exactly. Resident Evil. No, you know what they think the coronavirus look like? You know how you play The Last of Us and you go into like areas with the spores just floating in the air? That's what they think coronavirus is. It's just like spores everywhere. Like, no. It's not like that, people. I just posted this one thing on Facebook. It's people at the airport and how right before you get on the plane, everybody has to stand like 6 feet apart with their luggage and wear a mask and everything. And then you get on the plane, you're in a fucking tube sitting on top of each other. It's just like, this is so weird. Like, why did I have to stand so far apart in the airport if I'm just gonna sit right next to you on the plane? I don't understand, you know? It's so weird. It's just so weird to me. Yeah, coronavirus is 9/11 part 2. But thanks for the heads up on
ambiguity with right.
Thanks for the heads up on the new Resident Evil. Really did not know that was coming out, honestly. I don't know. Haven't been big on. I still consider myself a gamer, but I haven't been big on games lately. This is, like I said, I've been playing video games so long. I played the first Resident Evil. I played that shit when it first came out, the original Resident Evil. And you walk through the hallway, and the hellhounds jump through the window, and I just paused the game and stood up and like, oh shit, I think I peed my pants a little bit. Went to the bathroom, and then I had to turn the fucking lights on because, you know, it's supposed to be this survival horror. And I'm like, whatever, nigga, survival horror. Turn all the lights out. Let's see how scary this shit is. Scared the shit out of me. Turn these lights back on real quick. Let's try to finish playing this game. Like I said, last Resident Evil, I ain't make it through the game, man. Shit's too scary, man. Especially in VR. Like I say, man, you go down in the basement and they got all the creepy black monsters be jumping out at you, and then the crazy brother, and then the birthday cake puzzle, man. Look, man, some scary shit. But once again, I think that's why I'm not as excited about video games right now, because I've been playing video games for so long. I've seen like all the innovations in video games, and honestly, we're kind of stagnant. The best thing I like about video games now is storytelling. So a game has to have like a really, I need a bigger brush than that. The game has to have a really good story. Damn, that's really dark too. For me to get into it, because like I said, most game mechanics are the same. The fake, not the fake pandemic. It's a plandemic. Plandemic. Seems like somebody planned this shit. But yeah, most mechanics are kind of solid right now in video games. All the mechanics basically functioning the same. If you can almost pick up any shooter and just play that shit, because we've gotten to a point where the gaming community says, hey, this layout for the buttons of aim, fire, duck, cover works well in video games, and it's kind of like standardized now. And most survival horror games of go here, loot this, figure this puzzle out, you know, hasn't changed a lot since like the early Lara Croft days. It's just that the graphics are better. That's it. Like, it looks better. But is it really any different from any other game I've ever played? And most games nowadays aren't. Yeah. But if you can tell me a cool story like Cyberpunk, you know, and Cyberpunk is just like he's an anti-hero, you know, kind of similar to the guys in the Watch Dogs series, you know, not good guys but not bad guys, you know, just trying to live, motherfucker. But you know, so I guess I've been kind of like on the outs lately when it comes to video games, and because I'm not paying attention to what's out there right now, what new games are coming out. And I don't watch a lot of TV, so I miss a bunch of ads. Hate advertisements, yo. Hate that shit. But that's how you know new products and services and different things be available to you if you watch advertisements for it. Advertisements. What? Platinum. $500,000. They said 400,000 or 500,000 or America. Whatever they're saying is like America has the greatest death toll due to the coronavirus pandemic out of any other country. And then Bill Gates is like, oh well, the next one is going to be 10 times worse. And so now they got part 2 over in Europe, which they're not really talking about anymore. But just a few weeks ago, they were like, oh, a new mutated strand. It's more catchy and more deadly. And then now it's just like, there's like 1 or 2 people in America got it, but now that's going away. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we've just been setting ourselves up for this for a long time. Just been setting ourselves up for this for a minute, bro. I almost feel like I should mix a lot more of my paint on my palette real quick before I go to brushing, but I'm too lazy. I'm a lazy painter. Do as I say, not as I do. See, this is what I'm saying, man. Damn it. I might have to like just go ahead and pre-roll. At least a little bit. It may not look like I'm making a big difference, but I am. Going opposing who? Man. Hey, I ain't taking no vaccinations, man. Motherfucker ain't gonna put no biochips in me. With they monkey cell egg grown coronavirus vaccine. Man, screw all that shit, man. Hey, look, man. I got this thing. I ain't gonna tell y'all where I got it from. But yo, this shit helped me not get sick, yo. You know what I'm saying? I got this thing. And I ain't gonna tell you where I get it from. But if I don't know, you might got one too. Yo, this shit called an immune system. You know what I'm saying? I don't go tell everybody I told y'all I got an immune system. Cause you know, everybody don't know about that shit. See, people who don't know about immune systems, they go get vaccines and shit. But if you got an immune system, look, watch. All you gotta do is support your immune system. And most of the time, you can avoid most illnesses and viruses. Not all the time, but more often than not, you won't fall subject to disease, germs, and virus. If you, well, there's two parts. You gotta have good hygiene and a robust immune system. And then most of the time, you know what? You ain't even gotta take no vaccines. Not vaccines, vitamin C, D, B12. You know what I'm saying? Vaccines, vitamins, exercise. It's this one thing called, you know how you get your immune system? You gotta get this thing called a healthy diet. I ain't gonna keep telling y'all all my scientific methods and shit, man. Let me stop giving away my ancient African secrets. Most people don't appreciate that shit anyway. You know what I'm saying? Go and get your goddamn Moderna, Melinda Gates Foundation vaccine. Merp. You know, go ahead. Come back and tell me how you doing. You know what I'm saying? I'll be over here with some kale chips and some apples. Some ginger and some turmeric. and some Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Damn. Delicious. Bill and Melinda said, "Put it in the black. Put it in the black communities, man. They struggling, man. They need the vaccines first." What you talking about, bro? Go ahead with that shit, boy. Let's test it out in Africa. What? Let's not. Let's test this shit out in Europe first, man. You know them old Europeans. They need that shit. They desperate for that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? We got melanin. It's all good. My melanin to help fight off that shit, yo. You know, go test that shit out somewhere else, man. I think I almost want to exaggerate some of the clouds on here. Yeah, I'm just painting some clouds. That's all I'm doing. You know, it's kind of hard to see where I'm going with it, though. Maybe like that. Still need to come out with a bigger brush. A bigger brush. All right. Alright, I need some more white. And it's, oh shit, it's 7:30. I didn't realize it was getting so late. I got work in the morning.
having degrees or having mill degrees or having ulterior motives that present themselves as mental health counselors when in fact that is not what they do.
I hope that's helpful, Dave, and I hope that you find a way to find another therapist and move forward with this situation. But we're like way over time, so can you call us back and give us an update on what you decided and what happened and how it's going?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely love to. I've tried to call you guys before, so thank you so much.
Everybody, welcome. Welcome to the last day of February, the last day of Black History. Really awesome. Earlier in the day, at 1.
That's fair. It's a true story, actually. I wasn't gonna...
He say something about the last day of Black History Month? What do you do for Black History Month, Matt? I wonder.
So, welcome everybody. This is the Atheist Experience, a production of the Atheist Community of Austin, a nonprofit educational organization promoting positive atheism and the separation of religion and government. If you are watching us live on YouTube right now, directly up above, the chat is a place where you can click the donate link, and 100% of those donations go directly to the Atheist Community of Austin as a nonprofit. Google and YouTube don't take any portion of that, and that goes to help fund the behind-the-scenes stuff, including some things we'll get to in a little while. But importantly, not only does the ACA produce this show, this program here on Sunday afternoons, but on Sunday earlier in the day at 1, we have Talk Heathen. And in between Talk Heathen and Atheist Experience, we have Nonprofits, which is a record episode with new people on it all the time, and I'm hearing so many good things about it, and I've enjoyed it, but by all means, tune in and see how you're doing. Thursdays is Secular Sexuality. Fridays is Truth Wanted. If you want to support the show, you can do that in a number of different ways, including a merchandise link, which is up on the screen now. You can get your coffee cups and mugs and t-shirt, coffee cups and mugs, coffee mugs and t-shirts and other things like that. And you can get a membership at YouTube, which will allow you to have special icons and doohickeys, or you can go to patreon.com/theatheistexperience to support there through Patreon. We have a couple of different ways that you can communicate with people in our community, in the unofficial communities, etc., including the Atheist Experience fan group, which we're letting everybody know, that's group/AXPFG, and the Atheist Experience private fan group, which is AXPPFG. And I'll skip all the normal jokes. All of these, and by the way, the only reason I'm allowed to do the jokes is because everybody knows how bad this will be, and then they look better by comparison. And the only reason any of us look better at all is because of those people right there. There's your crew. There's the people who are screening the calls and adjusting the video and adjusting the audio and just being generally awesome. And before we get to calls, my co-host tweeted something out today, which I thought, yeah. And it says, of note, well, you read it, Shannon. It's your tweet.
It is my tweet. Of note is cultural juxtaposition. When I was a Christian, in my day-to-day life, I was almost never forced into justification of my belief. Once I became an atheist, however, people started demanding one. To me, this speaks distinctly towards the cultural bias regarding belief.
And my one-word response to that tweet was amen, which I love to say because I also love to remind people that it's not a religious word at all. It just shows your assent or agreement. But that tweet demonstrates, it's so true, and I loved it as soon as you did it, because in a day-to-day life, I never had to justify my belief. Not once. And yet now, it happens fairly regularly. Now, granted, we're doing a show, and the show is, if you would like to tell us what you believe and why, if you would like to be the person who does the thing that we were rarely asked to do in day-to-day life, which is defend your belief, then by all means call in and do that. But even in that case, this isn't day-to-day life. We're not going around knocking on your door asking you, have you stopped believing in Jesus? Or, could you please provide the proof and evidence that shows that you're actually correct? We don't do that. It's a call in. And there was a theist on Twitter who just couldn't get it. And I was like, call in. I'm getting ready to go live here in 20 minutes. I don't have time to argue on Twitter. Let's call in. I'll explain it to you. Because by and large, if you are part of the majority, you are not likely to have to justify yourself to anyone. It's assumed, when you move into a new neighborhood, at least, in the United States, you move into a new neighborhood, somebody's going to say, hey, what church you go to, or invite you to their church. It's just assumed that you're not a godless heathen. It's assumed that you're some sort of theistic person like them. And it has this privileged position, both with regard to whether or not you're likely to get elected, whether or not you are, when serving as a member of government, whether you're going to be taken more seriously. When you walk around, it's, hey, we're going to swear, do you swear, so help me God, do you swear on a Bible? All of these things are all evidence of us being steeped in a theism by default culture. And it's not true. It's not who we are. And that's the reason we do this show, and that's the reason I wanted to share that tweet.
Well, I appreciate it, because I think that one of the things that people take for granted is that, especially theists, is that their position is perceived as sort of the default. And anything deviating from what permeates the culture seems like, if you're deviating from what's the perceived majority of culture, then and only then do you need to provide justifications, which I think brings it to the forefront, and it's something more theists should think about, is that they aren't often challenged to provide justification, because it's just perceived as the default position that most people within their cultural context, and your mileage may vary based on your individual cultural context, is to believe. But where I grew up, at least, and I would say probably where you are in Texas, that would be the case, that you don't need to provide justifications for your beliefs en masse, at least in your day-to-day life, up until you deviate from what permeates the culture. And it's just something worth thinking about, I think.
And it popped up in my head that, think about the people who are raised in a family of theists, and then they stop believing. All of a sudden, the entire family is now a that person.
Right,
Not every time. Not every family is the same. Pointing that person
the top part done. So now I can just paint like in between those next time. That should be the sky taken care of.
On February 28th, 2021, and you will see that when people are asked to defend their beliefs, it fails, and instead, in many cases, they'll turn it around. And I tell them, my husband, well, you don't have a justification for any sort of morality, so you can't say anything at all, which to me is equivalent to, I just got my ass kicked with reason, and I don't have any sort of response left, so I'm just going to accuse you of something and pretend like I won.
Yeah. And when you don't deviate from the cultural context, even in the same sort of family scenario that you brought up, when somebody says, okay, I'm a Christian too, just like the rest of us, you're not asked, okay, why? Why are you a Christian? What did you do to come to that conclusion? You're just accepted that is the accurate and correct conclusion without requirement to provide justification. So that's what you become used to.
When I walked down the aisle at age of 5 to accept Jesus in my heart, it was a celebration, because now I'm a part of all the rest of them.
Right.
And now, the opposite has happened, because now I am apart from all of the rest of them.
Right. It's worth thinking about. It's interesting, I thought.
Well, let's get, unless you got something else to add, let's get some callers.
No, if I have anything else to add, I'll tweet about it. We'll see what happens.
And I will share it, because that's what she pays me for.
That's right. I don't pay him much, to be fair. We're going to talk to Michelle. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Atheist Experience. What would you like to talk about today? Hi.
Hi. I just wanted to talk about my own experience and how I saw God in creation before I read the Bible. Like when I was 12, I grew up in a secular home and in California, and my dad was an atheist, and so I saw God completely on my own. And so when I looked at the creation, it's kind of like when you're into architecture. And you look at a building and you're like, hey, that one's a Victorian, that one's Art Deco, that one's Gothic. There's certain things that, you look for that are consistent, that make you go, oh, okay, that's that person's creation.
I can't call it, bro.
I feel that way with God, because
clean up and get
under
up
a
out of here.
microscope, you will see things that you'll see from a telescope. So you'll see something very, very tiny, and you also see it very, very huge. Yes.
Michelle, can I ask you a question? How do I tell the difference between a Victorian-style house and a Cape Cod-style house?
Different aspects of it are the same.
Sure, but I would need to,
there are certain...
In order order for me to say, hey, this is a Cape Cod, I would point to things about that I've seen in other Cape Cod houses. And to say this is a Victorian, I would point to things I've seen in other Victorian houses that has this particular style. And we know that when we go to identify a new house, we can say, that one looks like it's a little bit of a mix between Victorian and Cape Cod. What were they thinking? And we can point to that because we have other reference points, right?
Okay. Yes. Right? I was going to get to my
Hang on.
If I may.
Hang on. How many universes do we have?
Well, we have a bunch of galaxies, so I think we could consider them universes if we wanted to.
No, that's not what universe means, and that's not what universe means, and that's not how science works. You don't just get to, do you think that God is only a God of this galaxy?
No, not at all.
Okay, then let's not divide it up into galaxies, because now we would be like people. How many universes do you have to explore?
Is it ours?
Yeah, just the one, right? So that means you have nothing to compare it to, which means there is no way possible for you to continue on your argument to say that there are things about this universe that point you towards God, because you have nothing to compare it to. Show me a universe that was created by God and one that wasn't, so I can contrast them. But you can't do that, because we have one. So there's no way, it is impossible for you to make your argument. Now, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to, if you want to try, I won't have to say anything else, and Shannon will have fun.
Go ahead, Michelle. Go ahead.
I'm not trying to bully you into believing anything. I'm just sharing my own experience and my own.
Of course. Yeah, no, that makes sense. My question to you would be similar to Matt's. What's your referential point? Because you're saying that I've done a comparison. So I've looked at X thing, and you're using architecture as an example, and I know that I can perceive design and architecture because.
All right. I'm out of here. Catch y'all next time.